All right, Paige, let's get to you and talk about what you are doing at Liberty Wire and Steel. So for all of our listeners today, we have Paige Arnold with us. Paige is the Senior Human Resource Generalist at Liberty Wire and Steel. I've gotten to know Paige over the years. She does a fantastic job, and she has a wonderful story as they are on their journey. They're not complete yet, and she'll be the first to tell you that, but after hearing some of the successes that they're experiencing, we thought, hey, this is something we want to bring forward to our membership base because many of our members have the very same problem that you have. It's not unique to you, but you're taking a really full court press approach to solving the problem. And this will be a great sharing experience. So Paige, why don't we start out with, tell us a little bit about yourself and Liberty Wire and Steel, and then we'll get right into some of the things that you're doing there.
Absolutely. So I have been in the HR industry for about 5 years, a little over 5 years now. I started off actually in the nonprofit healthcare field. For my first 3 years, I was very attracted to the mission-rich organization. That was what I was looking for straight out of college. I wanted to really make an impact. And that's what I found at that nonprofit organization. After about 3 years, I saw there was an opening at Liberty Steel and Wire, and I absolutely put my foot in the door, and I've been here for a little over 2 years now. I absolutely love it. I have never been more challenged in my entire life than these past 2 years in manufacturing and, living through the COVID pandemic and the turnover issues and the development issues for our supervisors. And it has been one thing after another, but it has been the best challenge. I love challenges. It's a way to change for the better. And this has been one heck of a past 2 years. And I was originally attracted to the manufacturing industry because on the personal side of things, my dad has always worked in manufacturing since I was a kid. He's a machinist, and I never understood why dad came home so angry all the time, or why, dad was never in the basketball stands at my games, or, why his work always forced him to work the weekends when we couldn't see him. And I really wanted to delve deep into the manufacturing industry and get to see, why can't we make better work-life balance for these employees? I got to live on the employee family side. Now I want to make that impact here. So I was very excited to join. And Liberty has been so great. I've learned so much. We've been in the Peoria area now since 1889. It started off as a one-man shop and his son. They were tired of breaking their backs, bending over, and so they decided to start the wire mill, and it kind of took off from there. But we're pretty interesting. We are on a large acreage, 1,500 square feet, but we have a ton of stuff going on here. So we have raw materials. We have a river located on our property where we get scrap from. We get scrap from barge, truck, and boat, and then we.
And you have a union.
Yes, and we have the union, which we actually have a really great relationship with. So that is also beneficial to us.
Paige, which union do you have?
We have the Illinois Steelworkers Association with us right now. I'm very glad to say we have a really great relationship. I know a lot of people can't say that, but we do, and they have been excellent on trying to get our turnover switched around and being a team player with us.
Yeah. And Paige, a little fact you may or may not know, but Liberty is one of the founding members organizations of AIM in the Peoria market and have been a member since the very beginning of AIM's existence. So we're really fond of Liberty for that reason, and I can't wait to get into your story. So let me set it up. Heavy steel, wire producing organization, dirty jobs. It's not
Very
the
dirty.
cleanest environment. It's manufacturing in its finest, unionized workforce. So it's very important to follow, the rules just the way they're laid out in the contract. It's got a strong brand in the Peoria market, an important player in the economy there. But if you said Liberty Wire and Steel, people know who you're talking about. You don't have to tell them, that place down along the river
Right.
at the edge of town there. They know exactly where it is and what they do.
Mhm.
And you had some challenges coming in new into the manufacturing industry, eyes wide open. And tell us what you saw and how you got to approaching the problems that you recognize there.
Yeah, absolutely. So ever since really the COVID pandemic, there has been a large turnover issue at our Peoria plant. And a lot of it has stemmed from job abandonment termination. So we define this in our collective bargaining agreement as 3 work days of no communication with the employee, no call, no show, with 3 consecutive work days. And this is what was happening. A majority of our terminations were job abandonment. And our team did it as best as they could to figure out why these employees were leaving, calling them, texting them, emailing. We would send letters to their home. I can't tell you the amount of people who had already had their phone disconnected or moved their address and their letter bounced back to us. And it was just impossible to get to the bottom of what is going on. Why are these people leaving? Is it a supervisor issue? Is it an onboarding issue? Is it training? Was it just lack of general interest in the position after they, were in there for a couple weeks or whatnot? So we wanted to really delve deep into why are these people leaving and what can we do about it? We have got to fix this issue. And so we had a lot of different initiatives that we started this past year. We had our supervisors, who are our frontline supervisors, on the floor 24/7 with the hourly workforce. We had them completely get out of their office, step onto the floor, and truly be there for the hourly workforce to help them as much as possible. Whether that's a new hire who's freshly out of orientation and doesn't know how the heck to run the machine, and so they're helping them, or if it's a 20-year-old employee or 20-year employee who's been here for many years, and maybe they're having some issues with a younger employee because those multi-generational
So some
differences
generational
are huge.
opportunities here. Yeah.
Yes.
So Paige, somewhere along the process, you learned the supervisors had a burden of administrative responsibilities that kept them from the core element of their job duty that you wanted them to do more of as an organization, which was spend time with the employees. So they had this administrative burden, and you took an approach to relieve them from some of that administrative burden. What was that first step that you did there?
We worked with a staffing agency to bring on temporary clerks during that time for each department of the mill, so that supervisors can truly be on the floor and those clerks could take over those admin duties. And while they were here, I worked with leadership to see, okay, what of this list of admin duties can we automate? What can we eliminate? What do we need to delegate to another department? Or what do supervisors absolutely have to keep? And so we did that very well, and we were able to get that switched and eliminate, delegate, automate everything else. So
now, did the supervisors, did they see this as a good thing that you were relieving them of some of those duties, or did they really want to do those duties versus the duties of, working one-on-one with the employees?
A lot of them, they really liked to work one-on-one with the employees. They love the employees. So they really liked that. They enjoyed that. They thanked us for that. It helped them a lot.
I would assume that would be the case. All right. So you had a high turnover. Give us an idea of what high turnover meant for you at that time.
We were seeing about 30 to 40 employees leaving every single month for the past year and a half.
Okay. That is quite a bit. Out of how many employees in that group?
We have about 900 employees here at Liberty, and only 880 of them are management. So the rest are hourly.
All right. So quite a bit of turnover. You're having to hire consistently every day in order to just stay still.
Yes.
You have to bring on additional 30 to 40 employees every day, every month to stay standing still, not even to address the growth. All right. So you hired some admin help. You got supervisors out on the floor. And the next thing you did was?
We worked on quality of hire. So specifically during the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of organizations started what we call walk-in Wednesdays or just open interviews. just try to get people through the door, try to get them interviewed, try to get them through the process. And we did that successfully for a couple years. However, we found that these candidates that were coming to walk-in Wednesdays or open interviews, they were not staying with us. They were turning over within the first couple weeks to the first 3 months. And
Okay.
so we got rid of walk-in Wednesdays completely, and candidates are more than welcome to still come in and fill out applications, talk to us, ask questions. We're available for that. But we got rid of that, and that was huge for us. We got the union involved more in the interview process. So we really appreciate their input, their guidance on what they think will be success out there, and if who they want, and they really appreciated being involved too. So we involved them in the interview process as well. We changed up our interview process to where instead of our HR recruiter interviewing 5 people at once, it's just one-on-one now, so we can truly gauge if they would be a good fit, and especially what department would they do good. In steel mill where it's hot and sweaty and you're working in a team, or the wire mill where you're working very individually on a machine. Another thing that we did, which I think made a huge difference, was the candidates would come back after their first initial interview with our recruiter, and we would make them get in full PPE. So fire resistance jacket, steel-toed boots, glasses, ear protection, hard hat. The steel mill requires much more protection, so we'd get them in that too if they're going to the steel mill. Just so they're not surprised when they get in there, because I think a big part of that too was once they got into their position after orientation, it was just a shock to them. We didn't give them the realistic preview. We have talked about it in the interview, but it's different talking about it versus actually seeing it. So we get them all dressed up in their PPE and then take them a tour of the mill so they can exactly see just how dirty it is. In the summer, it's nice because it is very hot. We have no air conditioning in our building. So, they got to see, how hot it can get. And we liked that because we are trying to get those people out who are going to quit within the first week or so after.
We went through a little process to weed them out,
yes,
and
exactly.
give them a sample of what it's going to be like to even dress in the required gear.
Yeah, exactly. Because safety is at the forefront of what we do. We want to make sure, that's what we see is, we're constantly having to write people up for just not wanting to wear the hard hat or glasses, or, we want to make sure, hey, safety is at the forefront of what we do. You have to wear your PPE.
Excellent. All right. And then you took approach to training and coaching very differently than you've done any time that I've known Liberty. I keep wanting to say Keystone, so excuse me.
I know, it's hard.
I know you're Liberty today, but yes, go on.
Yeah, so after we did that, that was a lot of success, but we still were not seeing the results what we wanted. So we decided to really focus in on our supervisors. We believe if you take care of your supervisors, they will take care of your workforce. They will take care of the hourly colleagues. If they feel appreciated and valued, they will do anything to make sure that hourly employees feel appreciated and valued. So we really focus in on the supervisors. When I first came here, I was a little bit surprised how much we promoted from within, from the front line to supervisor roles. It was just automatic. If there was a supervisor opening, of course, there'd be 10 candidates from the front line trying to apply. And most of the time they got it. And they had very little supervisor experience, very little leadership skills. And we did not provide them with any training at that point. So we reached out to AIM. Matt Weidman's our contact. He's fantastic. And we started supervisor essential training, where we would have an AIM trainer come on site and meet with all of our frontline supervisors to go over just the basics of supervisor essentials. And the feedback we got from our supervisors was absolutely phenomenal. They really enjoyed the trainer. They really enjoyed that we were valuing their development and that we were giving them the opportunity to develop them into what we want them to be. We want them to be a great leader for the hourly colleagues. So we started doing that, and we do that quarterly right now, just making sure we get all supervisors in that training, anybody new that we hire in, as well as we're also taking, more of our office staff, if you say, to take that training as well. So we did that, and then we realized that we really need to take more additional steps for these supervisors, because there's a heck of a lot of stuff that happens on the floor on a day-to-day basis. And a lot of the times these supervisors just don't have that experience. How do you deal with 2 colleagues fighting? How do you deal with, inappropriate comments? What do you do if a machine breaks down and maintenance isn't around? And
Hey, those are all unique to your business. None of our
yeah,
other listeners ever deal with that stuff.
yeah, right.
Those,
Yeah.
yeah, those cases never end up on my desk.
Yeah.
It's nonstop. And so we reached out to Matt Weidman once again. I think he was probably getting tired of us at this point. And we said, Matt, I think what we want to do is bring on job coaches to be on the floor with the supervisors, not just virtual, not just in an office. We want them to be on the floor with them so they can see exactly what our supervisors deal with on a day-to-day basis and give them coaching in the moment. That's what they need, is in the moment coaching. And he sent Tracy and Ron our way, and they have been working with us since August now. 77% of our supervisors have been hired from or have been promoted from within. So 77% of our supervisors have not gotten any additional training other than that supervisor training that we just had them go through recently. So very, very new supervisors, and it is going so great. Ron and Tracy, I told them you're going to have a hard time getting these supervisors to open up. That's what we tried doing. HR tried to get on the floor for 3 hours a day, and we just found that people would scatter away from us. It did the opposite effect. HR is coming, we want to scatter, they're going to do this and that. It was just the reputation of HR, unfortunately. No matter how hard we tried and how many times I brought them Gatorade to try to get them to talk to me in those summer months and bring them cool rags. I tried everything I could, but they just did not like to open up to HR. So Ron and Tracy have been fantastic. They spent a few days just trying to get them to open up before going into and delving deep into the training and coaching they wanted to produce with the supervisors. So they come a few days a month and meet with the supervisors on the floor, offer that coaching, and it has been going so great. The supervisors are in such a better mood and spirit. They're energized again. They like having that job coach right there with them, because they don't know what to do in the moment when something is happening. And it's hard for them to go back to their manager and say, well, I guess I should have done that. That job coach is right there to help them. And
So
so
Paige, tell us some of the results that you are seeing now. So you were up over 30 job abandonment and resignations on a monthly basis. And where are you at now? You're only a few months in, so
yes.
just tell us what kind of results you're seeing as a result of the efforts you're making.
Yeah, so over the last few months, we've already made progress, and this is reflected the month of October. We haven't quite got our numbers around for November yet, but October was our lowest number of terms we've had in 2 years, since December of 2021, which that was about 16 terminations that month, and we had 13 in October. So
Wow.
After December 2021, it skyrocketed from 20, 28, 30, 42, 40, it just kept getting worse and worse. And we started finally seeing that progress. And I think, that's all of our focus efforts on improving quality of hire, coupled with the personalized on the job coaching that has resulted in a significant number of our reduced terms. And it has been so great to finally see this progress.
Paige, I can only tell you, for someone that has 5 years of experience, 5 or 6 years in HR, as you mentioned, coming into manufacturing, a unionized, heavy steel business. You're in the heart and soul of manufacturing and the type of industry you're in. To come in and make the type of impact that you're making, I'm so impressed with you, and I know your career is this is going to be one of those career defining moments for you that you're going to be able to lean on, and you're going to learn a lot, right? You're going to learn what you could have done better. You're going to learn the things that worked absolutely perfect for you. But let's recap it for everyone that's listening. First thing you did is you took a look at your hiring process and you changed your hiring process. You gave employees not just a look around the workplace, but you made them suit up in the work gear that they were going to have to wear, knowing that that's a burden and something that people don't like, and it helps improve your safety and morale and those types of issues as well. You involved your workforce through the union as well as part of the interviewing process. I do not want to discount the importance of involving the right people in those processes. And then you started training your supervisors, and you capped it with coaching. I mean, that is a comprehensive approach, and you're seeing your results improve every single month ever since. That is fantastic. We are up against the clock here, Paige, again, but I'm very proud of you. I'm going to post the results from our poll online for people to see. You can leave some comments if you like there for Paige. Dave Forsey, I see your comments, and I know you're trying to make fun of Bert and his political position, but I just want to remind you, Bert represents the employer. So he takes the position that he does because he represents the employer every single day, and he does it really well. So please leave my friend Bert alone, Dave. Quit picking on him.
Thank you once again for tuning in to This Week at Work. If you enjoy the show, please share it with your colleagues. Forward our invites. Share the link aimea.org/thisweekatwork, or follow or subscribe wherever you get your news and entertainment, like LinkedIn, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere you are. And you can be part of the show. Send your questions and comments anytime to info@thisweek.work. We'll see you next week, 7:30 a.m. Central Time, when we discuss what's happening this week at work.